Knight Arena in the second half of tonight's doubleheader, this time featuring the Fighting Squirrels of Mary Baldwin and your Knights of Southern Virginia. I'm joined once again by Christian Clement. My name is Dawson Wiedrich, and this is a USA South Conference matchup that in many ways is a must-win for Southern Virginia. Right now, Mary Baldwin is third in the conference, staying at 8-7 overall. They're 3-1 in conference. They just recently lost their first conference matchup of the season. That game, of course, was against William Peace. And so they're coming off a loss in conference. The Knights, on the other hand, are 2-3 in conference so far, trying to build their way up in the conference standings, and no better place to do it than their home court against Mary Baldwin.
Yeah, that's going to be for certain there. It's going to be interesting to see what I got to talk with Coach Wardenberg for just a little bit before we went on the air, and he said a lot of the things that they're going to attack the ball. They want to out-rebound and then make a lot of their shots and make them not and make the free throws and make sure that they cost Mary Baldwin those 3 points.
Absolutely, and that's fundamentals. A lot of times when you talk to Coach Wardenberg, he'll tell you fundamentals is what we're focusing on today, because at the end of the day, that's all you can focus on in a basketball game, right? Make sure you do all the little things that you need to do. And like you said, in the game of basketball, rebounding, it's an overlooked stat for a lot of people. But at the end of the day, it is an essential stat in order for you to win in a basketball game. And then free throws, that's been off and on for the Knights. There have been some games they've really struggled, some games they've done fantastic from the free throw line, and it's really paid big dividends for them. We're about to start or announce the starters for both sides here in this contest. Again, if you're just tuning in, you missed out on the women's program of Southern Virginia facing off against the #1 team in the nation, the captains of Christopher Newport. The Knights lost a close one by 11 points, being a lot closer than a lot of people were anticipating in that matchup.
Please stay away from the playing area and team bench areas. Thank you for your cooperation.
Now, if you are the Southern Virginia Knights looking at what Mary Baldwin has been doing, what is your strategy going into this?
If you're Southern Virginia, you're wanting to make sure that you have a roster or a lineup that you have right now. The starters for the Knights being tonight Koa Baker, J. Marcus Robertson, Coy Burge, Abe Connolly, and Malachi Olson. You want to make sure you play to your strengths, right? Don't get in your own head. Don't make silly mistakes. And just execute your offense, because you have playmakers all over the place. You have Marcus Robertson, who can really just destroy you from anywhere on the court, both in passing and in shooting. Koa Baker, who's just a monster with rebounds, driving to the lane, getting to the free throw line. For most of the year, he's averaged a double-double for a reason, for a very good reason. And real quick, want to acknowledge the starters for Mary Baldwin. Number 0, Jaden Ignacio. Number 5, Quentin Hart. Number 12, Zach Sloan. Number 15, Vernon Fraley.
And number 2, Mr. Luke Org.
Thank you so much. And also for Southern Virginia, again, we just mentioned J-Mac going onto the court right after Koa Baker.
If you're looking at the lineup for Southern Virginia, it's very interesting not seeing Sean Kennedy playing today.
They actually did change on the starting lineup where Sean Kennedy is starting. He has been a regular starter for the Knights so far this year, leading in the conference in a lot of statistics, scoring, assists, all over the place. And then Malachi Olson, the junior on the roster, who has been very, very impactful, both scoring-wise, rebounding. He's a very physical basketball player. And I always talk about his patience on the floor. Whenever he goes up for a shot, it seems like he hangs up there forever, because he's just waiting for the right release, the window to shoot through. Just a very patient player overall. And again, I mentioned at the beginning of this broadcast, a must-win conference game for the Knights. You want to build up your confidence. You've been up and down all year long. You're sitting at 9-7. You're in a winning win-loss record right now, but you want to keep building on that. And again, when you're in conference play, this is the real season. Every game is a must-win. You want to put yourself in the best situation possible come conference tournament time to make a run, win the conference championship, and then get to the national tournament. That is always the ultimate end goal for any team at this level. The Knight Arena now packed for tonight's game. Fans have been steadily filling into the stands of the barn.
It's really interesting because Jaden Ignacio, number 0 for the Fighting Squirrels, is 5'8", but he's also made a big impact He's shooting 51% from inside, 45% three.
It's like they say, dynamite comes in small packages sometimes, and so Ignacio has really done a great job this year of being that key playmaker for the Fighting Squirrels. Kennedy trying to pass it inside to Olsen. It's going to be out of bounds. I believe they're going to say he stepped on the baseline. So the ball goes back to the Fighting Squirrels. Here's Ignacio, the sophomore from Alexandria, Virginia. Trying to drive the lane, knocked out of bounds, I believe, on Jamarcus Robertson.
Yeah, but looking at the Squirrels lineup, you have Quentin Hart, who's shooting 38% from the inside, 33% three, 67% on the free throw line. So he'll make you regret those points, fouling him. He's got 25 assists and 26 steals.
Indeed, he's averaging 12.1 points per game this year. Again, stats all around to support the fact that he's a well-rounded player. Baker going up, blocked on the left-handed layup, and recovered by number 2, Luke Ogle, the freshman from Chester, Virginia. The floater from Ignacio, no good. Rebounded by Kennedy. The Knights setting back up their offense. Here's Olsen, the jumper. That's going to rattle out, no good. Rebounded by Baker.
Baker is one of those triple threat players. He knows how to assist, he knows how to shoot, and he knows how to rebound the ball.
He knows how to fight down low. The shot is good for Olsen, fighting through the tough post defense. And the Knights strike first. You mentioned Cole Baker being a triple threat. I mean, he's that by the very definition of the term. He is able to make you pay on multiple fronts. He can play such suffocating defense. He can crash the boards. He can put a body on somebody. And he can make tough shots at the rim.
Yeah, Koa coming into this game was shooting 53% from the inside, has 152 rebounds so far. He's got 32 assists, and he's got 20 steals coming into this game. So he's that triple threat that the Knights love to see from their players.
That shot no good from Olsen. So far, Ogle proven to be a dominating force in the paint, really making things difficult for Olsen. They're going to call a charge here on number 15. That is Vernon Fraley, the sophomore from Raleigh, North Carolina. Great defense from Baker once again.
Again, Baker's one of those people that he'll step up to you. He's willing to put his body on the line. He's willing to take those charge shots every single time you give it to him.
Absolutely, he's not afraid of contact whatsoever. You see every now and then, or you see a lot of players that are able to score, able to have fancy moves and have a good jump shot, but really aren't willing to take the hits. Baker's the opposite of that. He is very much willing to put his body at risk, to fall to the floor. They're going to call travel here on Olsen as he slipped a little bit after getting that pass in the paint. He tried to kick it out. I believe they're going to say that his pivot foot slipped.
So far, a really tough game from both sides, making sure they can't get inside of that paint and stopping any potential one-shot drives.
And Mary Baldwin struggling on offense so far. Here's the three. And just as soon as I say they're struggling, they knock down the first three of the game.
Coach was not too happy with that shot.
Well, you give up way too much room at the three-point line to someone who's capable of making it. That'll upset any coach. Sean somehow able to get it to Olsen. Spinning, gets pump fake, up and in. The pump fake forces Ogle to go up into the air, and as he goes up to the air, it goes up tough with the shot. So the Knights take back the lead. Here's a corner. Steps out of bounds once again. That's twice now that Quentin Hart has had an open opportunity from the 3, but steps out of bounds in the corner.
Brett Asbury checking in for the Fighting Squirrels.
Asbury, the sophomore guard from Lansdowne, Virginia.
One thing that I think Mary Baldwin is going to be a little bit better down the road is that all of their guys are pretty young. They got mostly freshmen and sophomores. There's not any juniors or seniors, so they're going to be there for quite some time.
Definitely going to be a formidable team for the near future, and they're going to call an offensive foul here on Malachi Olson as he lowered his shoulder trying to create space under the rim. That'll be his first foul.
Olson is going to need to watch those this game, I think.
Several times throughout the season he's struggled and been in foul trouble. Of course, that comes to the territory of being in the post. That's always going to happen. You're always going to have fouls called on you. People are driving towards you, and it's a physical sport down there. That rebound finally brought down by Abe Connolly, fought for by Olson and Robertson.
Going to be some type of upper body injury on Malachi.
It was indeed a scrappy rebound, so want to make sure that Olson is all right. So a timeout here as Tyler Karchner, the sophomore from Draper, Utah, will check in for Southern Virginia. Right now the Knights have a 4-3 lead. A very slow start to this first half. Not a whole lot of offense happening. But so again, much like we kind of expected, both these teams are very evenly matched statistically. Very similar win-loss record. It's a conference matchup. When it's a conference game, even if one team has only lost 3 games in the year and the other team's lost like 10, just because it's a conference game, there's a familiarity, it's always going to be a tougher matchup. It's always going to be more physical. It's always going to be a little bit more intense. So I expect that to continue as this game goes forward.
Yeah, it's going to be definitely for sure. But it's also going to be interesting to see what happens when Quentin Hart decides to wake up, because he's kind of one of their kind of like our SVU's Baker. He's a little bit of everything. He may not have the shooting percentage, but he's got the free throws. He's got the assists with 25, and he's got the steals with 26. So he definitely knows how to get the ball out of the opposing player's hands.
He absolutely does, and Hart right now the only player on Mary Baldwin's roster to have scored a point so far in this game. The same can be said for Malachi Olson, both having 3 and 4 points respectively. So Knights will have the ball. Jamarcus Robertson will take the point. That'll make Sean Kennedy the guard. That is knocked out of bounds by Ogle. And Ogle has, again, he's been all over the place so far. Blocking shots, getting in the way of passes.
Yeah, no, Luke Argle sitting at 6'7". He's got 84 rebounds, 25 assists, and 7 steals, and 21 blocks. So he's definitely using all of that height to his advantage for sure.
And I think it's a good matchup having Tyler Karchner down there, who stands at 6'8".
They're going to call Baker stepping out of bounds there.
So it'll be a turnover for Southern Virginia. So far, the Knights have committed 4 turnovers, compared to Mary Baldwin's 3, which perfectly matches the score.
It just shows you that both teams are able to lock down those turnovers.
Here's Marcus Robertson, one-on-one, going up strong with the foul, with 2 defenders draped all over him. What a hard-fought bucket for Jamarcus Robertson. He goes in, takes away the pass, dribbles down the floor with 2 defenders over his shoulders, able to knock down the shot. J-Mac will go to the free throw line for one more.
Pat Malott checking in for the Squirrels.
The N1 free throw up and no good. Rebounded by number 13, Pat Malott, who just checked in, as you mentioned, Christian. Knights putting a little bit of half-court pressure. Pass intercepted by Baker. Up the floor to Robertson. A little bit too much mustard on that one.
Checking in for the Knights, number 11, Brian.
There was another substitution. Then we I failed to mention number 24, Brandon Stoudemire from Mary Baldwin, and checking in for the Knights is number 11, Brian Tapia, in place of Jamarcus Robertson.
Tapia has been doing pretty well for the Knights. He's been kind of one of their step-up players that when they need to do stuff like this half-court press, he's able to get to the ball really quickly because he has that athleticism. He's got that quickness.
Well, he's also just a natural shooter. He's got such a beautiful, quick release, and is able to knock it down from the outside when needed. Ignacio for three. That one is good. Ignacio gets his first bucket of the game, and showing, like you mentioned before, Christian, that shooting range. Hand off to Baker. Connolly for three. Back of the rim, no good. Rebounded by Argel.
Argel again showing that 6'7". He's got the vertical leap too for it too.
Knocked away by Tapia. Handled now by Kennedy. Some good defensive pressure here from Stoudemire. Kennedy goes up strong, rattles out, rebounded, and put back in by Baker.
Baker and Kennedy seem to be the dynamic duo for the Knights. They have each other's backs, whether they're assisting each other or just able to help just coordinate what's going on the court.
They definitely feed off each other's energy, and that play is the perfect amalgamation of Koa Baker's play style, getting the rebound, putting it back in, making the tough plays. Tapia splitting defenders. Here's Tapia for three. The quick release, no good off the back of the rim, rebounded by Ignacio. A lot of contact happening here. And they're going to say that number one, Brett Asbury, stepped out of bounds. He was going baseline. A couple of substitutions here. You got number 32, Dane Ibsen, as well as number 3, Jamarcus Robertson, checking in for Southern Virginia.
That'll move Robert J-Mac to probably point guard here.
Indeed, that will be the case, as the Knights have plenty of height on the floor right now with Ibsen and Karchner.
Yeah, well, Carlson sitting at 6'7", and Ibsen looking at 6'7".
Great move underneath the basket for Karchner as he's able to knock that down to extend the lead to 4.
And then they have Abe Connolly up there, who's also up there in 6'7". So they're looking for the heights from the inside of the basket.
And that three is good from Quentin Hart, making it look easy from outside the perimeter. Ibsen wanting that three. Taken away by the Fighting Squirrels.
I was about to say, when Ibsen gets that free three open, he's going to drain that every time.
Speaking of open threes, now Quentin Hart, the fast break three, takes the lead by 2 now. Knights reestablishing the offense. Tapia trying to get into the paint to Karchner, but threw it too far. Some substitutions for Southern Virginia, including Malachi Olson and Koa Baker.
Timeout on the floor.
We had timeout on the floor here with just under 12 minutes remaining in this first half. Right now, Mary Baldwin just took the lead for the first time in this game, 12-10 over the Knights of Southern Virginia. And again, a lot of that because of Quentin Hart. Quentin Hart knocking down several three-pointers. Hart now with 9 points. 9 out of the 12 points Mary Baldwin have come from him. And he has hit 3 for 3 from behind the arc.
And that's what I was about to say. They've all been threes. There's nothing been inside the paint. It's all coming from beyond the arc. So SVU is going to have to make sure they can guard that if they want any chance of keeping this game close.
And one thing Southern Virginia likes to do on defense is they like to try to create pressure for the point guard, get an extra defender on him, try to make him make a mistake. But then it leaves, of course, one player open for the shot. Now it makes you rethink your strategy. So now you're less willing to be in a zone. You have to be more in a man-to-man situation where you have to have a talented and quick defender on Hart at all times to make sure he doesn't knock down those threes. Because again, if he's already made 3 so far in this game, If you let him loose, he could absolutely destroy you from beyond the arc. So the Knights cannot have that happen as the Fighting Squirrels have possession here.
You know, he's definitely feeling the heat right now. Because coming into this game, he only was shooting 17%, or sorry, 33% behind the arc. It's going to be a full court press coming from the Knights, it looks like.
Indeed, they will apply full court pressure. Great pass down the floor. Strong shot up and in from number 24, Brandon Stoudemire, the sophomore from Atlanta, Georgia. Batted away. Up and in for Hart, his first non-3-point bucket of the game.
Hart is definitely feeling the heat right now. He's feeling that. He's feeling the shooter's heat right now.
Olsen wanted to dribble in. Taken away once again by the Fighting Squirrels. Another fast break opportunity. Up and in for Stoudemire, and a timeout from Coach Adam Wardenberg of Southern Virginia. Clearly not happy with what he is seeing. Back-to-back-to-back mistakes and turnovers that have caused this lead to go from a 2-point lead for the Fighting Squirrels to an 8-point lead. Abe Connolly checking in for Southern Virginia. And it's one of those things that shows you in a heartbeat, if you make a mistake after another, the tone of the game completely changes. Because right now, Mary Baldwin, they have all the momentum.
Sean Kennedy also checking back into the game for the Knights.
It's on the floor for Southern Virginia will be Kennedy, Baker, Olsen, Connolly, and Robertson.
Back to SVU starters.
On the floor for the Fighting Squirrels right now, you have number 13, Pat Mallett. You have number 5, Quentin Hart. You have number 13, number 24, Brandon Stoudemire. Number 1, Brett Asbury. And number 15, Vernon Fraley.
Stoudemire is one of those deep threats for this team. He's shooting 51% on the inside, 44% outside, 58% from the free throw.
The Euro step from Robertson. Beautiful move on the inside.
And then he's also a defensive issue too, because he's got 64 rebounds and 14 steals. So Mary Baldwin, even though they're young, they still have a lot of good talent.
The outside three, no good. That time from number 13, Pat Mallett.
That's the first three they've missed this entire game.
And you know things are going well when just over 10 minutes left in the first half, you missed your first three-pointer. Olsen working the post, tries to kick it out, nearly taken away by Hart. Kennedy trying to go up strong, and it's up and in through 2 defenders.
Kennedy is one of those players, again, that he's willing to put his body on the line if he knows he can get the shot.
Driving the lane and blocked by Olsen. Recovered by the Fighting Squirrels, doing a great job at moving the ball, getting another open shot. On the floor now is Brett Asbury. Slowly getting up. They're going to call the foul on Olsen. Malachi Olsen, that'll be his second foul. So checking in for him will be Tyler Karchner. Also checking in for the Fighting Squirrels is number 3, Logan Barber. As knocked out of bounds, it'll stay with Mary Baldwin.
Gives them a reset. He was running out of time, and the Knights were defending it way too well, so he just threw the balls at the opposing defender.
Still waiting for confirmation on the shot clock, making sure it's at the right time. Some off-ball screens. Mid-shot, passing it inside. Here's the jumper. That is no good. Rebounded by Karchner.
Karchner, sitting at 6'8", is proving to be a hassle for the Squirrels right now, as he's gotten back-to-back rebounds for them.
Karchner going up strong with the right hand up and in. Met at the peak by Vernon Fraley, still to knock it down. Almost looked like for a second that Karchner was going to try to go for a slam dunk. That shot is no good from Quentin Hart. Here's J-Mac for three. Off back of the rim, no good. Rebounded that time by Asbury. Tapped away by Robertson. Thrown ahead, attempted for Baker, but taken away by Fraley. Ill-advised pass.
So far, really good ball playing from both sides, from both teams today so far.
Mary Baldwin being patient with it now. Spin move. Up, no good. Rebounded that time by Karchner.
Again, Karchner using that height to his advantage. He's
one in here with the call is number 15. They're going to say that Vernon Fraley was wrapping his arms trying to move Karchner. He has been a little aggressive on the defensive post, and checking in for Southern Virginia, number 11, Brian Tapia, in place of Jamarcus Robertson, and also checking in for the Fighting Squirrels is number 2, Luke Ogle.
as well as number 12, Zach Sloan's come back in the game.
So that was out of bounds on the Fighting Squirrels, so 19 seconds on the shot clock.
High hands, Tyler. Stay to stand.
Mounted to Karchner, gets the pump fake, up, strong and good. Karchner now with 6 points. He leads the Knights in scoring.
Karchner just being all over the ball.
And gets a steal right there.
Karchner must be feeling that today right now. Like, he's just...
They're going to call travel here on Sean Kennedy. He had stopped, moved a foot, and it wasn't his pivot foot, then he like rotated around. I think they were saying that he slightly moved his pivot foot when he's trying to pass it away. So now with it being tied 18-18, turnover for Southern Virginia. Immediate timeout here with 7 minutes and 46 seconds left in the half, and now it'd be as good a time as any to thank our athletic partners, Straws Drinks and Eats here in Buena Vista, Virginia. Straws Drinks and Eats, if you guys haven't heard me talk about it already, they're a great soda and treat place here in Buena Vista. You can go there, get cookies, sandwiches, anything you want. Just a fantastic place to go here in town. I go there quite often. I like my Dr. Pepper fix. That's my little weakness in life, is my need for Dr. Pepper, and they make a dang good one. So go check them out in Buena Vista if you are in the area. Straws Drinks and Eats, we appreciate your partnership with Southern Virginia Athletics. So right now, it's a tie ball game at 18 apiece, and I like the fact that the refs are letting both teams be a little scrappy. They're letting them play physical basketball, let them get a little physical down low in the paint, but also making sure to call the fouls when it's obvious enough. I always love it when refs let the players play.
For sure.
Now 7 minutes and 46 seconds left in the half. The Knights, again, you're getting a lot of production from Tyler Karchner. Karchner, like I mentioned before, leading the Knights in scoring with 6 points to his name. He's got a total of 2 rebounds. And he's just been really effective, 3 for 3 from the floor, even with contact on all of those shots. Here's the corner 3. No good. Rebounded by Baker, the athletic rebound.
Again, Baker showing Baker is not he's got the jumps and he's not afraid to prove it.
And Baker went up for the layup. He ended up being a little more open than he expected. Checking in for the Knights is number 23, Alex Weiland, the sophomore from Ponder, Texas. I always mention when he takes the floor that he's one of those hustle players that coaches love to see. He always works his tail off on the defensive end.
So if you're Southern Virginia University, what are you doing right now?
Right now, Quentin Hart hasn't made a basket in a while, so you're doing a really good job at keying on him, but you want to make sure that you don't get any easy baskets in the paint. Karchner playing good one-on-one defense against number 24, Brennan Stoudemire. As that three-pointer is good, obviously you want to limit that. Right now you want to maintain that momentum you established with your paint play. Getting the ball to the paint, driving the lane, getting it to Karchner down low. And nearly swatted away there by Sloan. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Kennedy driving the lane, up with the left hand, no good. Karchner rebound up and in, and he remains perfect from the floor.
Karchner being the overall player for SVU right now, getting those rebounds, getting those secondary stand-up points too.
And brings it back within 1 point. Here's the three. That was no good, rebounded by Karchner.
Karchner putting the Squirrels on notice that just because Malachi's not in the game, that doesn't mean they don't have another tall guy who can do what he can.
And it's been great seeing the development of Karchner on this roster. You know, he came in, and obviously Malachi Olson, he's the leader in the paint. He's been the starter for the past couple of years. But Karchner has really worked on being strong in the paint, working against these tough defenders. Baker steps through with the right hand, no good. That time rebounded by Ogle of Mary Baldwin. But again, the progression of Karchner as a player in his time with Southern Virginia has really been something to see. Hart's fadeaway jumper, no good. Rebounded once again by Karchner.
And Karchner is only a sophomore, so he still has 2 more years here. Almost picked off there by Hart.
He's done a really great job of anticipating those passes. They're going to call a foul here on Hart as Kennedy was trying to drive and kick the ball out. It'll be a block on Hart. That's his first foul of the game. Got another substitution for Southern Virginia in number 15, Abe Connolly. He will come in for Koa Baker.
Show your hand. Show your arm. Points down.
Again, SVU using...
That time easily picked off by Ogle as Karchner lost the positioning. So that's on the Knights using 2 posts at the top of the key to set screens, trying to set up a play of pick and roll. Weiland goes up, commits the foul, and it's an and one. Had a little contact there. Actually, they're going to call the foul on Karchner,
At the line, shooting 1,
as Brandon Stoudemire will go to the free throw line. It looked like it could have been either Weiland or Karchner. They're both in the general vicinity of that play.
Stoudemire is shooting 58% from the free throw coming into this game.
Free throw is good. And the Fighting Squirrels complete the N1 play. Ogle showing that he is capable of very good on-ball defense. Weiland, shot clock under 10. They're going to call a foul on number 3, Logan Barber. Barber wanted it to be an offensive foul, but his feet were not set in a situation where he could take the charge. Ryan Tapia will be checking in for the Knights. Seen some fantastic exterior defense from this Mary Baldwin roster. Shot clock winding down. Weiland for 3. That's an air ball, so be a shot clock violation. Tapia will be checking in for Jamarcus Robertson. Okay, that's one thing that makes you very proud as a coach when it comes to your defense, is if you force the other team to take a wild shot at the very end of the shot clock. Karchner getting his hand in there, knocking it away, but it'll go out of bounds. So immediate timeout here with 4 minutes remaining in this first half. It's a slow, low-scoring affair, 24-20 in favor of the Fighting Squirrels of Mary Baldwin. But right now, again, like I just mentioned, defense for Mary Baldwin has really stepped up in the past couple moments, really limiting the touches in the paint for posts like Karchner, and also making sure that they're not letting up any sort of outside shot to any of the guards of Southern Virginia.
That's for certain, but also at the same time, Mary Baldwin is not holding back either.
They absolutely are not. They're doing a great job facilitating the ball, and they've made several three-point shots so far. Right now, they are 5 of 12. Southern Virginia not quite there with the outside shooting as of yet. Most of their points have come from the paint.
Most importantly, from Karchner.
Indeed, Karchner has been responsible for several of those points. The Knights, all 20 of their points have been in the paint, which back, 80s and 90s, that's what you like to see. You like to see that you're dominating the paint point game. You're liking the fact that you're able to get your post positions to score. But in today's game, where everybody can shoot from anywhere, you have to be able to shoot from the outside as well and set up plays for your outside shooters, which again, the Knights have several of those outside shooters that are very capable. But again, this defense from the Fighting Squirrels has just been suffocating on the outside.
Yeah, that's certainly been sure. They're getting up there, just making sure that the Knights are on the clock. So they're having to make those quick passes that they don't like to do, and they would like the time to set up.
Shot clock winding down, 7 seconds. There's the three-pointer. That's good for Barber. Extends the lead to 7.
That's going to be Barber's first points of the game.
Karchner driving the lane against Ogle. Going up strong, drawing the foul. So Karchner will go to the line. Ogle draws his first foul of the game. First free throw from Karchner. Off the back of the rim, no good. Got some substitutions for Mary Baldwin. Number 22, Hayden Brunn. Number 15, Vernon Fraley. And number 1, Brett Asbury. Not quite sure what the holdup is here for the second free throw. Second free throw is up and good for Karchner. That missed free throw is the first time he's missed a shot in today's game so far. He now has 9. SVU faithful wanting a travel on number 22, Hayden Brunn. He drives the lane, blocked by Karchner, recovered by Connolly. Tapia for 3. Off the rim, no good. That time rebounded by Fraley. Once again, the perimeter shots are not Southern Virginia's friend. Ignacio goes up, missed the shot. Karchner went up straight up. They're going to say he made contact with the body as Ignacio went up, ricocheted off him, and then shot the shot. So Ignacio will shoot 2 free throws.
That's going to be Karchner's second personal foul. Not too much worry right now, but later in the next half, it's going to be a situation that Karchner's going to have to watch out for, especially with him being such a key playmaker right now.
Absolutely, as there's just under 3 minutes to go in this first half. Karchner substituted out, as well as Weiland in favor of Baker and Robertson. So mostly guards on the floor for the Knights. Second free throw is good.
Asbury checking in for the Squirrels.
Got another substitution in Brett Asbury. He will come in for Ignacio. Mary Baldwin having Quentin Hart play very tight defense on Sean Kennedy. Make sure he stays with him at all times. That's one strategy that a lot of teams have done over the past couple of weeks, is have one defender just stick with Kennedy at all times and suffocate him defensively, try to frustrate him. Baker for three. Off the front of the rim, no good. An uncharacteristic shot from Baker. He's not known for shooting from the outside. He's capable of it, but he doesn't like to a lot of the time. Gonna call a foul here, I believe, on Kennedy, as Hart was driving to the basket.
Knight's foul on number 4, Sean.
They're saying that he was guilty of a block before the shot. Another substitution for the Fighting Squirrels, the number 2, Luke Ogle.
That's one thing Mary Baldwin has been able to do, is substitute very, very well, getting players that they need on defense and on the other side of the ball too.
Doing a great job with situational substitution. That three in and out. And that shot up and in for Brunn. Extends the lead to 9 for the Fighting Squirrels. Marcus Robertson goes up left hand and in. Fantastic dribble drive. Robinson ups his point tally to 6.
Minute 36, the Knights are going to have to hold this if they want any breathing room for the next half.
They want to make sure they play some lockdown defense to close out the half, get a solid shot. And a shot up, no good that time from Asbury, defended by Connolly and knocked away and fought for. We had jump ball, stay with the Fighting Squirrels. Robertson had it, and somehow it was tapped away and initially recovered by Asbury. Ref's trying to make sure a portion of the floor is wiped down. So once again, the ball will stay with the Fighting Squirrels. Just about a minute left in this first half. Here's a three from the outside. That is no good. Rebounded by Connolly. Since the opening minutes, Hart has had a difficult time shooting from the perimeter. As we had double dribble on Cole Baker. It looked like he may have had it knocked out of his hands briefly before he dribbled it again, trying to maintain control of the ball. .35 seconds. Knocked away by Robertson, but recovered by the Fighting Squirrels. They're going to call an offensive foul as Kennedy took the charge. The guilty party is Brett Asbury, number 1. Checking back in for the Knights for the first time in a while is number 21, Malachi Olson. We haven't really seen a whole lot of him in this first half. As he got 2 quick personal fouls in the opening minutes. They're going to call travel here on Olson as he took a quick step. Carson will check in for Olson. Also got some more substitutions on both sides. Robertson checks in. And for Mary Baldwin, they have number 0, Jaden Ignacio. And Mary Baldwin will call a timeout with 12.4 seconds remaining in this first half. It was a little bit confusing moment there, as it wasn't very clear at first what the call was, but indeed what they said is that before Olson made that move, he kicked his pivot foot back to give himself a little bit of spring to drive toward the basket. And so another turnover for Southern Virginia. And another again, the past couple minutes, the Knights have had chances to try to fight back, to try to whittle away at this lead, which isn't a significant lead. It's 7 points. You can make that up in a heartbeat. But small little things they've done that cause turnovers have limited them from whittling back into it like they'd like.
Yeah, no, SVU 15 turnovers. In the meantime, Baldwin's been able to answer with 18 points. If we were to take those 18 points off, SVU is in the lead.
Indeed, indeed. Points off turnovers have been huge right now for Mary Baldwin. So I'm sure at halftime, Coach Warnenberg is going to preach about ball security. Make sure that, hey, we need to make sure we have to make sure that we maintain control and make smart passes. Got a whistle here.
Knights foul number 3, Jamarcus Robertson.
Jamarcus Robertson committed the foul. 9.9 seconds left in the half. There is some talk here on the sideline of coaches making sure they stay in their designated areas on the sideline.
Yeah, Waldenberg got warned, and then Mary Baldwin over there is doing almost the exact same thing.
And the three from Ignacio. And the Knights not able to get a final shot off for the end of the half. And so the Fighting Squirrels go into halftime with a 10-point lead. As the Fighting Squirrels defense, again, in those last few minutes, the Fighting Squirrels defense was suffocating, making it impossible for the Knights to really execute any sort of offense, whereas at the beginning of the game, the Knights were able to execute a lot of things well, with Tyler Karchner in the paint, subbing in for Malachi Olson when he got into early foul trouble. It's been a struggle for the Knights offensively. And so with that, with a 10-point lead for Mary Baldwin, we'll take a short break before halftime here at the Barn. We will be right back.
It is time for the halftime contest. Today's contestant we have here is Seth Millington from Today's halftime contest is called Name That Character, and it is sponsored by Strong Drinks and Eats. Seth, are you ready?
I am.
All right. Pretty simple. You have to guess 3 out of the 5 characters correct. If you guess them correct, you get the $5 gift card. So let's roll the first slide. Here we go. This should be pretty easy. Awesome words. And that is Aaron Wachner from Criminal Minds. Next slide, next slide. That's great. Ding, ding, ding. That's one. All right, next slide. Zach and Cody, classic. Next one. Favorite things. 11, that is correct. Let's go ahead and roll the last one for him. That's Ferg. That is Ferg. Congratulations, Seth.
We're back for the second half action between the Fighting Squirrels of Mary Baldwin University and your Southern Virginia University Knights. The first half, for the majority of it, was very neck and neck, a back and forth battle where Southern Virginia had Tyler Karchner really step up in scoring. He ended up with 9 points in that first half. And for Mary Baldwin, you had Quentin Hart with 11 points, 3 for 5 from behind the three-point line. But the last couple minutes of that first half, things got really sloppy for Southern Virginia. A lot of turnovers, a lot of missed opportunities, and you just know that there was a stern talking to in Southern Virginia's locker room at halftime.
Definitely, for sure, on that one. I think everyone here in the bar could hear how ticked off the coach was.
And for good reason, because again, when you're playing sloppily, that nothing's going to work out for you. There was a lot of sloppy passes made. Defense wasn't locked in like you want it to be. And so I think hopefully for Southern Virginia, there's a lock-in and key in a focus in the second half and make sure you do what you need to do. Limit the outside shots, because right now, we were looking at the stats during halftime. Mary Baldwin is making 7 for 16 from beyond the three-point line, 43.8%. The Knights have shot 6 three-pointers and haven't made a single one. Now, obviously this team isn't the Golden State Warriors, where most of their shots or most of their points come from three-pointers from Steph Curry or Klay Thompson. But three-pointers are a big part of this Knights offense. They have great outside shooters. Marcus Robertson can shoot well from 3. Connolly, Kennedy, Ibsen. I mean, even Olsen and Karcher are known from time to time to be able to take a 3, but yet you're not able to make any from the outside, and that's going to limit you in today's game of basketball. You cannot win a lot of games by not making any three-pointers. So I'm sure that was an emphasis at halftime to make sure, hey, we need clean passing, execution of our offense, set good screens, get some people open for some outside shots to make something happen. Because if you want to win this game, if you want to win this conference game, build yourself up in the conference standings, that's what you need to do. You need to get the basketball to your good shooters on the outside, get them clean, high-quality shots to bring yourself back into this one. It's only a 10-point game. It's not like they're down by 30. 10 points is very manageable, but you need to execute. You need clean offensive play, you need to get the boards, and you need to not turn the ball over.
Yeah, speaking of turning the ball over, so far, Mary Baldwin has turned it over 10 times, where the Knights have turned it over 15. But in those 15 turnovers, Mary Baldwin has been able to score 21 points. So again, it's making sure that the Knights don't turn that ball over too quick. Because as soon as they turn the ball over, right now Mary Baldwin has done a very good job locking that
Nice
down.
ball to start the second half.
Making the Knights pay for that.
Absolutely, and on the flip side, the Knights have not done that. You mentioned they forced Mary Baldwin to turn over 10 times, and the Knights have only gotten 6 points off of those. You got to flip the script on that if you want to go back into this game and to take the lead and eventually win. So the Knights will start off with the ball.
So if you're the Knights here, besides looking for making sure your outside shooters have a good
Kick ball, stay with the Knights.
So no, I definitely agree with you there that the Knights have to be able to get those shooters some clean shots. A lot of these right now are coming at the expense of we need to hurry.
And a lot of that starts with Sean Kennedy, who's struggled in the past couple of weeks as teams have found out a certain formula that limits his production. Olsen going against Ogle, fadeaway jumper is going to roll in.
There's the Olsen that this crowd likes to see. He's the one that's making those big plays and is willing to get someone's hand in his face just to get that shot to go through.
He is now tied for second in scoring on the team in today's game with 6 points. Jump ball, but stays with the Fighting Squirrels.
That was poked out by Connolly, number 15.
So showing a little bit of fire on the defensive end, trying to make those plays, force those turnovers. Here's Hart for 3. That's going to roll out no good, rebounded by Olsen. Baker kicks it out, and it's a turnover. A spin move, fade, up, no good, rebounded by Kennedy. Kennedy dribbling in, kicks it out to Baker. Connolly's arm is smacked and no whistle is called as it's a turnover taken away by Kennedy. The Knight faithful are absolutely baffled by the fact that there was no whistle blown. You could hear the smack from all over the arena.
Again, it's these referees that are letting these guys play the game of basketball.
Great pass to Olsen. No good, rebounded by Ignacio. Great court vision, though, from Demarcus Robertson, seeing Olsen cut to the basket. Just got to capitalize. Cut to the basket by Hart, taken away by Connolly. Pass to Baker, and he's going to finish it. The Knights whittling back, 6 points down.
And this is the game the Knights want to play. They're playing at their own tempo. They're not getting dictated by the Fighting Squirrels here.
You're absolutely right. They're making sure they set up their own offense, forcing turnovers and getting points from those turnovers, like we said. Obo working on Baker. Spin move up with the right hand. No good. Rebounded by Connolly.
Connolly is starting to come back alive.
He really has. Again, some great rebounds. Baker up with the left hand and a tough shot. Mary Baldwin will call timeout now that the Knights have whittled it back to a 4-point deficit. 2 straight possessions where the Knights, in my opinion, should have gotten a foul call. The possession before, when Connolly's arm was slapped and it was turned over, and then Baker on that shot driving to the basket, a defender coming in, and he falls to the floor, and there's no foul called. So again, in this game, the refs letting them play a little bit, letting them be a little bit aggressive.
And again, Baker being one of those players that, hey, you want me to make the shot? Sure, I'll make the shot. And if I have to put my body on the line, sure, I'll put my body on the line too.
Right now, Baker has 6 points. He has 5 total rebounds, 3 defensive, 2 offensive rebounds, 1 assist, and 1 steal. Having a great second half so far to start things off. And there's 3 players with 6 points for the Knights roster. Baker with 6, Olsen with 6, and Robertson with 6. And of course, leading the way is Tyler Karchner, who has not seen the floor yet in this second half, but paid big dividend and got great results in that first half.
I definitely would expect to have Karchner back on the floor when it comes time. Maybe possibly when Olsen gets into foul trouble again, because he is sitting right now with 2 personal fouls right now, and I guess so is Karchner. So coach is trying to hold Karchner for just a little bit longer.
Especially considering the fact that Luke Ogle of Mary Baldwin has had such an impact on the game so far when it comes to post defense. So you need either Olsen or Karchner in there who have at least done a decent job at contending against him under the rim. So the ball will be with the Fighting Squirrels. Great cut to the basket for Ignacio. He's going to lose control of it. Out of bounds. Turnover for the Fighting Squirrels.
Again, Squirrels are trying to find momentum, and the Knights are holding it down. The Knights are not letting them get those fast breaks down.
Kennedy trying to force it up. Recovered by Olsen. Great hustle from the junior. Sidestep, Euro step, no good. Rebounded by Connolly, pump fake. Gets the foul on the shot. He'll go to the line to shoot 2. That foul's number 12, Zach Sloan, the freshman from Bunn, North Carolina.
Fouls on the Squirrels, number 12.
That was a tough possession all around. Olsen had a tough shot. He missed. Of course, Kennedy before him had a tough shot. He missed, then Connolly got the rebound, put it back up, and now it's at the free throw line.
Yeah, no, SVU is definitely taking advantage of the height that they have on the court right now, making sure that they can get those rebounds. They're not only tall, but they have the athleticism to get to that ball and get there quickly, and are willing to challenge you inside that paint.
They absolutely do, as that first free throw from Connolly is no good. Second free throw is up and good. Brings it within 3. The Knights in a man defense. Switching on the screens. A little bit of a mismatch here. Shot behind the basket. I believe they're going to say that it was off of Olsen as it touched the back of the backboard. It was an odd shot. He shot it from so far underneath the rim that it went behind the backboard.
Here we go. Okay.
We're just trying to get everything straight here. Indeed, it did hit the back of the backboard, which counts as out of bounds, and Olsen was the one that touched it last. They're going to call the foul here on Kennedy when he was going to get a clean stealing at J-Mac all the way down the floor.
I absolutely have no words for that call at all.
I don't agree with that whatsoever. If you're going to have a play a couple possessions ago where Abe Connolly literally gets slapped and no foul call, and that one where it's just a tough steal, and then you call that one.
Yeah, no, definitely for sure.
But regardless, ball goes back to the Fighting Squirrels. Ogle working on Kennedy. Up the right hand, no good. Rebounded by Kennedy. Kennedy stood his ground.
Kennedy being one of those players that, hey, you want me on the tall guy? That's fine, I can do it.
The tough shot from Koa Baker brings it back within one. What a response from Southern Virginia in this second half so far.
No, I definitely think the half talk by Coach definitely did the Knights a favor.
That three is way too far off the hand of Zach Sloan. Robertson with the rebound, driving the lane. I believe they're going to call a reach-in foul here. They're going to say it's on number 12, Zach Sloan.
That's going to be his second.
Some substitutions for Mary Baldwin, including number 1, Brett Asbury, and number 15, Vernon Fraley. So a timeout here with 15 minutes and 29 seconds left in the second half. Again, the Knights have been bringing it back within 1 point. Baker with a phenomenal shot. And again, right now, what we're seeing from Southern Virginia is a lot of physical toughness. They realize they're not getting clean shots right now. They're just not. Mary Baldwin's going to make you earn every point that you get. And so what they realize is like, hey, we got to toughen up, battle through the contact, and we're going to knock down these shots and really focus on them. And that's exactly what they are doing right now.
Yeah, that's for certain. But again, these Knights are showing that they're persistent. They won't. Yeah, you got them down by 10 at the half, but that made no difference. Mary Baldwin has not gotten a single shot off this half yet. It's all been the Knights.
Indeed, the Knights have done a great job defensively of locking down, making sure that any shot that they do take is a tough one and a very low percentage shot, which is why we've seen very little points from Mary Baldwin. In fact, the Knights are outscoring them 9-0 so far in this half. So again, you mentioned the talking to that this Knights roster got at halftime. If you're a coach and you give your team a stern talking to, this is exactly how you want to respond. Go on a 9-0 run, establish physical dominance on the offensive and defensive side of the floor. Ball is with Southern Virginia. Here's Kennedy with it. Here's up to Baker, gets him a tough shot. Trying to recover it was number 15, Vernon Fraley, but he'll be out of bounds. So the ball stays with the Knights. Baker cut to the basket, pump fake, up the left hand, no good, gets his own rebound, goes up strong again, no good, that time rebounded by Fraley.
Koa Baker showing that he's willing to do anything he needs to get that rebound and get those points back up to get SVU ahead.
That is definitely his style of play. Unfortunately, not able to capitalize on any of those shots. That was tapped by Sean Kennedy. As you saw, number 1, Brett Asbury trying to drive.
Checking in for the Knights. Number 23.
Drive down the lane and kick it out. Checking in for Koa Baker is number 23, Alex Weiland.
You're fine. 20!
The late whistle, but it will be an offensive foul. on Fraley.
I think that's the first foul that's gone the Knights' way when they tried to set that screen block underneath the basket.
It was a very late whistle. In fact, it took until half a second after Olsen had already hit the ground, or maybe a full second after Olsen hit the ground for them to blow the whistle. Robertson driving the lane, kicking out to Olsen for the jump shot. Rattles out, no good. Rebounded by Robertson. Up, strong, up and in for J-Mac. And the Knights take the lead.
Now this is a basketball game, ladies and gentlemen. This is exactly what you want to see from Southern Virginia University.
Indeed, the fight back and the way they've been able to respond in the second half, now on an 11-0 run. And the shot no good, but they're going to call a foul here on Sean Kennedy.
15.
I don't even think Sean Kennedy was in the vicinity. Abe Connolly was defending on the shot of number 24, Brandon Stoudemire.
Well, with that, it's going to be that's going to be Kennedy's fourth foul on his third.
Indeed, it will be his third foul again, putting him in foul trouble. We'd have to see the replay on that one, but it didn't really look like Kennedy was in the vicinity. Some substitutions for the Knights, including Koa Baker and Tyler Karchner. Substitution for Mary Baldwin and number 13, Pat Mallet.
Definitely tell Kennedy's a little shaken up after that one for getting an unnecessary penalty.
Again, we'd have to look back on that, but again, it really seemed like if they were going to call a foul, it would be on Abe Connolly.
Box out.
Free throw up and no good.
It's good to see Karchner back in this game. He had a fantastic first half.
Indeed he did. We'll see if he's able to replicate his success. Robertson driving the lane. Fancy work. Puts up a shot. No good. Rebounded by Hart.
Tyler showing that hustle. He got dropped down, and then like 2 seconds later, he's on the other side of the court. So he's using that full stride that he has.
And that pass goes out of bounds on Mary Baldwin. A little bit of confusion there between Fraley and Stoudemire.
Jay, don't adjust. Don't adjust.
Marcus Robertson with it now. Here's Karchner in the paint. Up and in for Karchner. What a game he is having.
Karchner is just on fire today.
He is now 5 for 5 from the field, 100% with 11 points.
Fouls on the Knights, number 23, Alex Weiland, his first. Checking in for the Squirrels.
Alex Weiland guilty of that foul. That's his first.
Checking in for the Fighting Squirrels is going to be is number 12, Zach Sloan.
They hand off to Sloan. And knocked away and taken away by J-Mac. Knights with a 3-point lead.
Now this is Knight basketball. Knights are having the Fighting Squirrels play their tempo.
Karchner squaring up. They call the offensive foul on Karchner as he's driving to the basket. Karchner agrees.
That's going to be his third foul.
Number 55, Tyler Karchner.
Well, 12 minutes and 45. Do you think Coach takes him out or just lets him play?
Well, considering that both him and Olsen are in a little bit of foul trouble, I think he kind of lets him play a little bit, give Olsen a little bit more of a rest. Because if worst comes to worst, Abe Connolly's able to play the post. He's got the length, he's got the strength. He's versatile like that. The wild shot somehow finds its way in for Brandon Stoudemire.
I thought I heard a ball connection there on that shot. I'm surprised it went in.
It floated up there for what seemed like forever and able to rattle in for the first point, or first basket for the Fighting Squirrels in this half. You heard me right, folks. That is a first basket for Mary Baldwin in the second half. Baker goes up strong and one. A strong finish at the rim from Koa Baker.
That's going to be on number 15.
Vernon Fraley. Baker at the line.
Fraley gets his 4th foul of the game. Now he's in severe foul trouble.
And that's someone that the Knights want to get fouled out.
Because Fraley has a strong presence in the paint, both offensively and defensively. And one free throw for Baker is up and rattles in good. Got some substitutions for Mary Baldwin, including number 2, Luke Ogle, and number 0, Jaden Ignacio.
Luke has been just a dominant force for the Squirrels. I'm surprised it took him this long to get him back into the game. He's been on both sides, especially since we have Karchner on that field.
Ogle hasn't scored any points so far, but rebounding-wise, he's been really dominant. He's gotten a couple of steals, has a block. That fade jumper from number 22, Hayden Brunn, no good. Rebounded by the Knights. Baker kicks it out. Conley for 3. Off the front of the rim, no good. Rebounded by Brunn. Jamarcus Robertson now on the floor.
Timeout on the court.
Looks like it's gonna be something with lower body.
We know he was making sure to rub out his muscles earlier, so.
And it looks that to be the case right now.
Able to get off relatively quickly. Hopefully he gets some hydration and a little bit of rest, should be fine, hopefully. Hope for the best for J Mack, and with 11 minutes and 38 seconds left, the Knights up by 4. And once again, I will point out the fact that Mary Baldwin has scored 2 points in the first couple minutes of this second half compared to the Knights' 16. The Knights are 7 for 17 from the field in this second half. They're shooting 41.2%. Still have yet to make a three-pointer in this game, however. But the positive side of that, neither is Mary Baldwin.
Yeah, no, both teams taking 2 shots from the 3 line, and neither of them have fallen in so far. Right now, the Knights are dominating rebounds, 11-5 so far. So the Knights are going for those rebounds, taking those second chances away from Mary Baldwin.
Indeed they are, and also the Knights are shooting 66.7% from the free throw line. Not a phenomenal percentage, but once again, Mary Baldwin hasn't shot any free throws. So some free throws compared to 0 is always going to be better. So again, this Knights defense has just been absolutely suffocating. We've seen this effort, this hustle from the Knights in the second half that wasn't present at all at the end of the first half.
No, it's definitely an entirely different team that came out of that locker room for the second half.
And it just shows you that in the game of basketball, or most sports in general, sometimes it's a mental game, right? There's a physical aspect of that, and that's a big portion of it, absolutely. But a lot of any sport that you play is the mental aspect of it. Convincing yourself, hey, we can do this. Mental toughness, making sure you understand what you can do to give yourself the best chance to win. And that's exactly the difference between the end of the first half and this beginning of the second half. Run working on Baker.
Late foul called there.
Very late whistle. And that call on Koa Baker, they're going to say that he grabbed onto him as he went up for the shots. That'll send number 22, Hayden Brunn, to the line, the sophomore from North Miami, Florida.
Good news is that's only Baker's first, so he's still got a lot of wiggle room and a lot of game left to play.
Indeed, and that's a great thing because a lot of times Koa Baker, with his physical gameplay, a lot of times he can get himself to foul trouble pretty quickly. And with the fact that physicality is a major part of his game, it takes away a lot of his advantage. But the fact, like you just pointed out, only having 1 foul, he's still breathing pretty easily. Brunn's second free throw rattles out, no good. Knights still have a 3-point lead. Kennedy working on Pat Mallett. Shot clock winding down. A foul here
That's going to be on number 13.
Yeah, Pat Mallett, he shoved Kennedy as Kennedy was trying to drive to the basket. Beautiful pass inside to Karchner, swatted away, no whistle.
There's been a lot of those calls today.
Well, there's a lot of contact and no whistle blown, which is surprising to everyone. Run for three. Back of the rim, no good. Top of the backboard, out of bounds.
Nice ball.
So the ball goes back to Southern Virginia. Coach Warnenberg pleading his case about the previous play, how the ball was literally slapped out of Karchner's hands. Another foul called here
Squirrels foul on number 13.
Pat Mallett.
His second.
Pat Mallett there challenging Kennedy for the ball and being that physical player.
Playing great on-ball defense at Kennedy, trying to make him frustrated. Tapia is also on the court for the first time in a while. Failed to mention that. Kennedy jump shot, rattles out, no good. Rebounded by Karchner, swatted away by Ogle. Fadeaway jumper from Connolly. Baker with the rebound, stripped away that time by Stoudemire.
Don't leave the ball!
So a tough defensive stand from Mary Baldwin. I'm going to say a push on the floor on Connolly.
Ninth foul, number 15, Connolly.
That is his first foul of the game. Kai Olson will be checking in for Tyler Karchner.
Karchner's just been having a fantastic game for the Knights today.
He really has, and he finally missed a shot just a couple moments ago for the first time in today's game. Now with 11 points. Here's a three. That one is good for Brandon Stoudemire. First three of the half for the Fighting Squirrels. Ties it back up at 39. Connolly nearly loses control of it. Here's Olson. Goes up the right hand, off the back of the rim, no good, rebounded by Ogle. Ignacio working on Tapia for defense. Swatted away by Ogle. Taken away by Baker. A foul here on the Fighting Squirrels. It is on Ignacio.
Fouls on the Squirrels, number 0.
Baker is slow to get up.
Baker gets shaken up there.
He had two defenders close in on him, trying to wedge him out, causing him to fall to the floor. A couple substitutions for the Fighting Squirrels, including number 3, Logan Barber, and number 5, Quentin Hart. Cole Baker able to get to his feet, and he will go to the line.
Looks like he's having a hard time catching his breath.
Here's his first free throw. One and one is no good. Which is a rare free throw miss for Cole Baker. He's usually very dependable from behind the charity stripe. There's a foul here on Brian Tapia.
Foul on number 15.
In fact, they're actually going to say that it was number 15, Abe Connolly. It'll be a 1-and-1. Some substitutions for the Knights, including Jamarcus Robertson and Alex Weiland. That's Connolly's second foul. And it'll send number 24, Brandon Stoudemire, to the line.
Checking in for the Squirrels, number 1.
It's been interesting to see how this game has been called today, where there have been some plays where there's been a lot of physical contact, a lot of hitting, and even noise made from the slapping. No whistle, but then small little things like barely grabbing on to a player as they're trying to make a cut, that's called. So, because that free throw is good for Stoudemire. And the Fighting Squirrels take back the lead. Second free throw up and no good. Brought down by Stoudemire. able to get the rebound off his own free throw. Up the right hand, no good, rebounded by Weiland. What a rebound, he really elevated to get that one.
Ryland showing that he's just not, he might be short, but he's got the height. He's 6'4".
Taken away by the Fighting Squirrels. Stoudemire driving the lane. He's going to be fouled on the way up. Going to call that one on Jamarcus Robertson. And it'll once again send Stoudemire to the free throw line.
At the line shooting 2, Brandon Stoudemire.
Stoudemire has been living on the free throw line. Currently he is 2 for 5. First free throw is good. Now 3 for 6.
Yeah, Stoudemire was one of those that they had to be aware of. He was coming into this game with a 58% free throw.
Second free throw is good. Now a 3-point lead for the Fighting Squirrels. Pass to Olsen. Fouled on the way up by Ogle.
And Ogle knows he had that one.
Fouls on the Squirrels, number 2.
Coaches for Southern Virginia wanting a flop called on number 1, Brett Asbury, which it very much seemed like that was the case, as J-Mac was trying to dribble around and clear some space. Free throw for Olsen. Up and good. Abe Conley will check back in for the Knights in place of Brian Tapia. Second free throw on the way for Olsen. It is up and good. Olsen is now 2 for 2 from the free throw line. Stoudemire, step up 3, no good, rebounded by J-Mac. Conley passes inside to J-Mac, up with the right hand, no good, rebounded by Ogle. J-Mac's had a couple of plays like that. That's taken away by Kennedy, reading that pass like a book. Kennedy, jump shot, up, off the back of the rim, no good. Another fast break, missed opportunity for the Knights.
Looks like there might have been a shove, as there was a lot of disgust coming over here from the Knights bench.
Yeah, Olsen ended up flying out of bounds at the end of that play. Here's Hart driving the lane. Tries to get to Ogle. He was open, but it flies out of bounds.
Number 0, Jaden Ignacio.
Jaden Ignacio will check in for Mary Baldwin.
Timeout.
Got a timeout here with 7 minutes and 17 seconds left in the half. The Knights down by 1. I want to take this timeout opportunity to thank once again our athletic partners, Straws Drinks and Eats here in Buena Vista, Virginia. I've talked about it many times here on these broadcasts. Straws Drinks and Eats is a great place to relax. If you're a college student here in the area, you know, Christian, like you have pointed out, it's just a great place to relax, great place to get a soda, great place to get a treat or a sandwich or whatever it may be. It's a great place to go here in Buena Vista. We thank them for their partnership with Southern Virginia Athletics. Thank you so much for your support. Now, the Knights, for a while, were dominating the second half. The Fighting Squirrels doing a good job of battling back. They have the 1-point lead. Now the score in the second half is Southern Virginia 18, Mary Baldwin 9. Again, it hasn't been a fast-paced half by any means when Southern Virginia has been able to maintain control of the tempo and the pace of the second half. But right now, it's just a matter of making those shots when you have the opportunity, like J-Mac, a layup just a little bit ago. You also had a couple of shots from both Connolly, from Kennedy, and give yourself second chance opportunities with offensive rebounds. You just got to capitalize. And right now, you're giving yourself those opportunities with offensive rebounds. You're winning that battle 10-3 in the second half. So you're getting these chances. You just have to capitalize. And if you're Mary Baldwin, right now, you're trying to win back the momentum that you had to end the first half. You're trying to get back to that shutdown defense that you had established. You're trying to cause Southern Virginia to be frustrated offensively. Waiting for the all clear from the refs. We're going to see some full court pressure here from Mary Baldwin. Checking back into the game for the Knights is Koa Baker.
That's good to see after that rough hit he took to the ground.
And a travel here from Jamarcus Robertson. Took an extra step while trying to set up the pick and roll.
Checking in for the Knights, number 1, Koa Baker.
And Koa Baker will check in for Alex Weiland. So similar things we saw in the first half where the Knights have an opportunity to either take the lead or to extend the lead, and then something small happens where it ends up being a turnover for you. Ignacio for 3. Rattles out, no good. Rebounded eventually by Baker. That gives him now 9 rebounds and 11 points. 1 rebound away from the double-double. Baker adding on to his point total.
Baker now with 13 points for the Knights.
And like I mentioned just before, 1 rebound away from a double-double, which is just another day at the office for Koa Baker.
You know, he's such an offensive and defensive player. It's nice to see those.
Out of bounds.
Like I said, Ogle stepped out of bounds before attempting the shot. So no foul and no shot attempt. It'll go back to the Knights. The Knights with a 1-point lead, just under 6.5 minutes to go. Seen some full court man-on-man pressure from Quentin Hart. We haven't seen a whole lot of Quentin Hart offensively since the first half. Hart trying to reach in and get the steal, but it'll be called for a foul.
Number 5, Quentin Hart.
That'll send Sean Kennedy to the line for a one-on-one opportunity.
That's going to be Hart's second personal foul of the game. Hart has been one of those players for the girls that if the Knights leave him wide open, he's going to take those shots every single time. And so far, the Knights have been doing amazing, shutting him down and forcing his other teammates to take those shots. And
absolutely agree. As that first free throw for Kennedy goes in, he's now 1 for 1 from the line. Second free throw is good. He now has a total of 4 points. Fighting Squirrels trying to set up a mismatch in the paint. That 3 from Hart is good, just like you mentioned. You leave him open, he's going to knock it down. Ties it back up at 45. Olsen driving to the paint, working on Ogle. I think it's going to be a foul on Ogle.
that's going to be his third personal foul.
Squirrels foul on number 2, Luke Ogle.
So now he is in foul trouble.
Malachi Olsen.
5 minutes left in the game, though. Is it worth bringing him out, or just letting him keep playing? And
well, at this point, again, you're trying to make sure that they don't dominate in the paint. The Knights, I mean, like they did in the first half. The first free throw from Olsen is good. And checking for him is Vernon Fraley, who's also in foul trouble as well.
Freyer, I believe, has four personal fouls. Yeah, he does. So he's got to be very careful.
So either way, if Fraley gets his 5th foul, then you're going to have Ogle come back in and probably play as much of the rest of the game that he possibly can. Waiting for Fraley to tie his shoe for the second free throw.
In the meantime,
second free throw is up and good.
That's going to be 10 points for Malachi.
He is now 4 for 4 from the free throw line, knocking him down in this second half especially. Seeing Marcus Robertson playing tough on-ball defense on Hart. The floater from Hart is good.
Again, the Squirrels are doing awesome, making sure that Hart has those insides wide open for him to just take those shots.
Olsen spinning, strong, and one. Knocking down the tough shot.
Malachi Olsen showing what he does best when it comes time for him to do something about it.
Again, he had the fantastic post move, drive to the paint, the spin move, staying in the air long enough for the defender to go up and start coming down, then releasing the shot, knocking it down, having a chance to make the free throw. And that is Fraley's 5th foul. He will foul out, and instead will come in Luke Ogle.
And that was probably the best case scenario for the Knights as well. Force that fifth foul for Farley to force the other guy to come back in, even though he hasn't gotten much of a breather.
Absolutely, you're absolutely right. And so the Knights now with a 2-point lead, a chance to add on to that. Olsen's free throw is no good. That's his first missed free throw of the game. Pass to Ogle on the inside, working on Baker. Going up strong, rattles out, no good, rebound by Connolly.
Baker showing that you don't need to be aggressive to be able to play good defense.
And standing out of bounds and getting the ball was Hart, so a turnover. We'll go back to the Knights.
Knights ball on the baseline.
Now Baker, again, showing that he has a 6'5" frame. He's got good size, but even when he's going up against post players, he doesn't let it intimidate him. He's very physical. He's willing to stay in there with you and battle with you. And that's what makes him such a quality asset to this roster for Southern Virginia. Inbound it to Olsen. Knights take it out and reset their offense. Baker working on Stoudemire. Spin, knocked out of his hand and recovered by Hart. 4.5 minutes remaining. Ignacio trying to drive the lane. Mid-range jumper. That is good for Ignacio.
Jaden Ignacio for 2.
A timeout here for Mary Baldwin.
Timeout on the floor.
It'll be a full timeout for the Fighting Squirrels. They tie it up at 49 apiece. Ignacio with that shot is now up to 9 points on the game. Right now he is shooting 3 for 7 from the field. He's made 2 out of his 4 3-point attempts. And again, a total of 9 points. He is 3rd in scoring on the Fighting Squirrels roster, behind Stoudemire, who has 15, and Hart, who has 16. In fact, for the Fighting Squirrels, they only have 5 players who have scored. For Southern Virginia, they've had 7. 7 players who have gotten some points on the board. So the Knights utilizing more of their bench to score, or utilizing more players than just the 4. Now tied at 49 apiece. The Knights need to lock down defense here and play the defense they played at the beginning of this second half, because honestly, that was some phenomenal defense, if I do say so. I mean, right now the Knights are winning the second half 26-16, shooting 9 for 27 on the floor. So they're getting more shots up. Again, you just got to capitalize on those, make those higher percentage shots. And still, the Knights not really shooting very well from the outside. Again, most of their points still coming in the paint.
Yeah, Mary Baldwin is lead scorers right now. Quentin Hart and Brandon Stoudemire. Both of them have been dominating when they've been able to get free and be able to get that easy shots.
And just looking at points in the paint difference here, Southern Virginia has 40 points in the paint. Mary Baldwin has 14. I mean, that stat line alone will make anyone happy. It'll show you, like, hey, our post game is pretty legit. The Knights with the ball.
Hart is just doing everything he can to Kennedy to make sure he can't get anywhere.
Olsen binding up Ogle. Jump, gets pump fake, and one shot. Olsen is feeling it right now. with the contact, able to knock it down, puts Ogle even further in foul trouble.
Foul number 2, Luke Ogle.
That's going to be his 4th personal foul.
Malachi Olsen checking in for the Knights, number 3.
Marcus Robertson checks back in for Brian Tapia. So Olsen will go to the line and shoot 1. Again, what a tough shot from Olsen. He knows that Ogle is in foul trouble. He knows he can't be as aggressive, so he's able to back him down. Spin move up with a strong shot. That free throw rattles out. That was knocked out of bounds. They're going to say it was off of Koa Baker, although it looked like it very well could have been called out on Stoudemire.
That's what I thought that was for sure. It looked like Stoudemire had knocked that ball loose.
And I think a lot of people in attendance here in the arena agreed with that sentiment. But regardless, it'll be with the Fighting Squirrels. Hart driving the lane. Up with a crazy shot. No good. Rebounded by J-Mac. Advance to Olsen. Working on Ogle. Kicks it out wisely, trying not to commit an offensive foul.
Olsen so far has had Ogle's number so far. He's 3 for 3 against him so far.
Olsen elevating to get that. The jump shot is good. Olsen, my goodness. Olsen now with 16 points in today's game. He is now the leading scorer for Southern Virginia, followed closely by Baker with 13. What a couple of minutes for Malachi Olsen, again, making difficult shots with the contact, drawing the fouls. Unfortunately, the last 2 and 1s, he hasn't been able to capitalize with the extra free throw. But then with that jump shot, able to knock it down cleanly. The Knights now with a 4-point lead with just under 3.5 minutes left to go in this one.
Yeah, for sure. If you're Coach Waldenberg, what are you doing here? What are you telling your guys to do here?
I mean, honestly, I'm just saying the words, keep it up. Keep feeding Olsen, keep feeding the post. They are in foul trouble in the post position. Keep that going. Attack where they're weakest. That is working for us. And also just saying, hey, maintain composure. Make sure we're making smart passes. Make smart plays like Olsen did just a little bit ago, where they had the fast break. He didn't have the numbers, didn't want to commit an offensive foul, so he stopped himself, pulled it out, kicked it out so they could establish their offense. Another foul called here, this time on Abe Connolly.
Number 15, Abe Connolly, his 3rd.
That's Connolly's 3rd. It almost feels like every time Connolly even puts a finger on someone, it's called a foul. It's been a really tough going for him.
Brandon Stoudemire.
Stoudemire will go to the free throw line. First free throw is good.
Stoudemire has been Mary Baldwin's kind of go-to free thrower. Unfortunately for the Knights, they just keep fouling the wrong person.
He is now 5 for 8 from the free throw line. 5 for 9. He has been able to get to the free throw line very frequently, especially in this second half. Knights now with a 3-point lead. Robertson kicks it out to Connolly for 3. That's no good. Again, the Knights continue to struggle from beyond the 3-point line.
And that's very rare for Connolly. Usually if he's got the wide open 3, he'll sink that 10 out of 10.
Very consistent 3-point shooter most of the time. Ignacio with the lay-in with the left hand over Connolly. Able to create the necessary separation. Fighting Squirrels bring it to 1. Baker going inside, battling the defense, up and in for Baker.
15 points for Baker, followed with Olsen trailing him by 1 point.
A foul on the floor here.
Knights foul number 21.
They're going to call it on Olsen.
That's going to be his 3rd.
At the line, shooting 2. Brandon Stoudemire.
And once again at the free throw line for the Fighting Squirrels is Stoudemire.
The one guy that you don't want to foul for those free throws. He's only missed 3 so far this game.
He's missed 4. This is his 10th. And that one also does not fall. He's now 5 for 10 for the free throw line. So he's able to make them pay on occasion. But the main thing is that he's been able to help stack up the foul count for the Knights. Second free throw is good. The Knights still with a 2-point lead. They're going to call a foul here on Hart as he was bodying up Sean Kennedy.
That's going to be his third.
At the line, shooting 2, Sean.
And I'll put Kennedy to the free throw line. And Kennedy, talk about people you don't want at the free throw line. He's very consistent from behind the charity stripe. First free throw is up, and no good. Second free throw for Kennedy is up and good. Makes it a 3-point game once again. Ignacio dribbling in the paint. Able to get it to fall with the foul. He has a chance to tie it up with a free throw.
Fouls on number 4, Sean Kennedy.
That is Kennedy's fourth foul.
Jaden Ignacio.
Just over 2 minutes to go. Ignacio's tying free throw is good. 56 apiece.
2 minutes left. If you're the Knights, what are you doing?
You're trying to reclaim control of the pace. You're trying to get it back to Olsen in the paint. Olsen has been on fire in this second half. I call a travel here on Kennedy. So another turnover for Southern Virginia. Gives the Fighting Squirrels a chance to take the lead. Throughout the game, the Knights and the Fighting Squirrels are very neck and neck in turnovers, with the Knights having 22 and the Fighting Squirrels with 21. Left hand, no good for Ignacio. Foul is on Olsen.
That's going to be Olsen's
Knights
fourth.
foul number 21, Malachi Olsen, his fourth. At the line, shooting 2, Ignacio.
Ignacio with a chance for these free throws to take the lead.
Shooting 72% from the free throw line, so he's...
First free throw is good.
We're good. Come on, execute.
Second free throw is also good. The Fighting Squirrels now with a 2-point lead.
Now this is definitely a basketball game for sure. Back and forth, neck and neck.
Kennedy trying to get rid of it. Trying to get to Olsen. It's taken away by Ogle.
Orgel was just with that reach, has just been able to break up so many of the Knights' plays.
Now approaching a minute left in this one. Ignacio for 3. Knocks it down from deep. Now under a minute, the Knights need something here. Kennedy drives in the lane. Tries to get to Olsen. It's taken away by Ogle once again. 2 times in a row, the Knights try to get it to Olsen, and it's knocked away by Ogle. Ignacio trying to dribble out of the foul situation. Now 30.9 seconds with Ignacio behind the free throw line. You talk about a heat check. That three-pointer from Ignacio took the air out of this building. The confidence he had stepping into that shot.
And unfortunately, the Knights let him have it. He's kind of been the sleeper for them. He's now leading Mary Baldwin with 20 points.
Indeed, he has been a sleeper in there, as he quietly has attributed these points throughout the game, but in these past couple minutes has really done a great job at driving to the basket, forcing himself to the free throw line, as that second one is good.
Checking in for the Squirrels, number 3, Logan.
Checking in for Ignacio is number 3, Logan Barber.
I think Ignacio has definitely deserved that.
30.9 seconds left. They need a couple threes here. Connolly is fouled by Hart.
Foul's on number 5, Quentin Hart.
And that is his fourth.
At the line, shooting 2.
Weiland will be
Abe
checking in
Connolly.
for Southern Virginia, and Connolly will be going to the free throw line.
Connolly, unfortunately, has not been the strong suit when it comes to for that free throw line today.
He's definitely struggled from behind the charity stripe for sure, and Ignacio's going to be checking back in from Ray Baldwin. What they're going to try to do is after these free throws, whether he makes or misses them, they're going to try to inbound it to Ignacio, get it to where he's the one that's fouled and gets sent to the free throw line so he can knock them down. The free throw, first one was good for Connolly. Second free throw up and good. So now it's a 5-point game, 23 seconds left. Stoudemire wide open down the floor and slams it home. The emphatic punctuation mark as Stoudemire was wide open down the floor, barely any contest whatsoever. So 20.3 seconds. It's a 7-point game. Now at this point, you need a couple threes. You absolutely need a couple threes. There's no ifs or buts about it. You need to get either Tapia from behind the arc. You have to get somebody to hit a three because it's been a tough thing to do for Southern Virginia. They're 0 for 9 from behind the three-point line, whereas Mary Baldwin is 10 of 24. Now, if the Knights just hit a couple of threes in this game, it's either a tie game or they're in the lead. And that's sometimes what happens. That's the luck of the draw with basketball. You can be as good a three-point shooting team as anybody out there. But on any given night, it can be rough. It can make it to where the hoop feels like it's got a circumference of an inch, where it looks like nothing's going to fit in from behind the three-point line. And that's what it's been like for the Knights from behind the three-point line tonight.
So who's your three shooter? Who are you going to let take the three?
I mean, Tapia is a very reliable three-point shooter. Jamarcus Robertson is also very reliable as well. Connolly has struggled from behind the three-point line. So I do think you'd go with either Tapia or Jamarcus Robertson. And also Olsen, he's had a good game, so you could set him up for a three as well. The time is winding down. Jamarcus Robertson gets the basket to fall. Brings it back within 5 with 9.3 seconds left. Alex Weiland will check in for the Knights.
Checking in with the Squirrels.
So now, you have to foul as soon as someone touches the ball. You cannot let any extra time go off the clock. Send to the free throw line. Then, if you get the rebound on the other side, you call a timeout. Get into the hands of most capable shooters. Take a quick three. If you make it, call another timeout. And do the whole process again in under 10 seconds.
The only problem is Knights only have one timeout left.
Exactly, only one timeout. So
and they also need to be careful because if it's in Ignacio, then he's going to make sure that it puts a staple into the game. Question is who do you put on Ignacio?
You got to make sure someone is deep so you don't have a breakaway dunk like the last time. And the foul, I believe, will be on, actually it's going to be on Alex Weiland. Going to the free throw line is number 13, Pat Malone.
Checking in for the Knights.
Ryan Tapia will be checking in for the Knights.
At the line, shooting 2, Pat.
This is going to be Pat's first free throws in the game.
First free throw is up. No good.
Checking in for the Knights, number 11, Brian Tapia.
Which that's his first missed free throw of the season. He was 7 for 7 until that.
Second free throw is good. Make it a 6-point game. Barber will check in for Ignacio. For defense. Connolly attempts the deep three. No good. And so the Knights will fall to the Fighting Squirrels of Mary Baldwin. Mary Baldwin will advance to 9-7 on the season, and the Knights will fall to 9-8. Again, the Knights' inability to make shots from the outside, from beyond the three-point line, a defining factor of this game, to say the least. Again, a hard-fought game. The Knights dominated the early parts of the second half, battling back after what was a very rough end of the first half. So you love the effort there. But for Southern Virginia, this is a game to learn from. You got to learn to be able to create your own shots on the outside. You got to be able to capitalize on opportunities that are given to you, because there are many situations where the Knights did not do so tonight.
Yeah, that's for sure. But other than that, I thought they did pretty well in that second half. They were controlling the ball. They were controlling their shots. They were making Mary Baldwin play their game.
Indeed they were, and if the Knights were able to continue that, that would have played out to their benefit. But regardless, again, the final score being 66-60 in favor of the Fighting Squirrels of Mary Baldwin. We once again thank you so much for tuning in to today's presentation of Southern Virginia Athletics. And we want to once again thank our athletic partners, Straws, Drinks and Eats. And if you would like to partner with SVU Athletics or promote your business on campus like Straws, Drinks and Eats does, please contact Brett Schroeder at brett.schroeder@svu.edu. That is brett.schroeder@svu.edu. On behalf of myself, Dawson Weidrich, and my good friend here, Christian Clement, thank you so much for tuning in to this presentation of Southern Virginia Athletics. Good night, God bless, and go Knights.